Yeah. I'm nervous.
I would just like to say, first of all, thank you to Aaron / I know Wes as Wes, Wes' parents, for this wonderful night. I had never met them before this weekend, and it's just really great to see some people that you can kind of imagine in your head what they might be like, but to kind of connect them with Wes was very cool. And obviously, Rita and Mike and Maddie, it's so great to reconnect with you after all these years, and thank you for everything this weekend. It's just beautiful. I thought a lot about this speech, and ultimately, with a wedding this size, I thought it was going to be a lot more awkward to tell some embarrassing stories about Andy. So, Andy, I think you're actually off the hook for this one. We'll wait for New Jersey. It seems like a very Jersey thing to make. I just think it's, when you think about fate and you think about, destiny, it's remarkable to think about how lucky it is when two people find each other. Especially in this case, you have one person from San Diego, another from right outside Philly, and they meet in a huge city in LA and form this lifelong bond. But that is the story of Andy and I. So, Andy and I met on the bus at the Rose Bowl as freshmen at UCLA, and we bonded over how bad UCLA football was, how terrible LA traffic is, and honestly we became instant friends, and our friendship has only grown over the next 4 years, and now I'm here celebrating my best friend's wedding. I think as men we struggle sometimes to express emotion, but I can honestly say I truly love Andy and I truly love Wes, and I'm really excited to be here with them. There's a couple things I think you need to know about Andy, and everyone here who knows him will certainly agree with this first one. Andy is an incredibly fun guy to be around. You can always count on Andy to want to have a good time, and he's the type of person that people gravitate to. They just want to hang out with him. Andy used to say this incredibly stupid thing in college. He would say, "You can always retake the class, but you can never retake the party." I think that lasted about 2 quarters of freshman year. And surprise, Andy did take a 5th year at UCLA. But honestly, don't let that fool you. Andy is an insanely smart guy. I'll never, second week of college, he said something to me about speaking at his high school graduation. And I was like, that's really weird. I didn't think they just let anybody speak at their high school graduation. The class clown is up there. And here's this kid. It turns out Andy was the valedictorian in high school. And I'm like, this is a San Diego skater guy. He turns out to be a genius. He's really smart, but Andy's also insanely resilient. I think it would be a mistake to ever count him out or to tell him that he can't do something. I witnessed that firsthand, and it's really cool to see how Andy has worked so hard over the years, and he's now in a position where he can provide an incredible life for himself, for Wes, and their future family. And Andy, that's all ultimately down to you never giving up and you doing some incredible work. Andy also genuinely cares about the people in his life. I think sometimes to a fault. I'm very quick to burn a bridge or to write someone off. Andy takes his time with that. He's not ready to give up on people. But if Andy is done with you, you've really screwed up. It's over. But honestly, if you meet Andy's family, I think you quickly realize where that kindness and compassion comes from. Personally, one of the things that honestly makes me sad about living across the coast from Andy is that I'm also across the coast from his family, people that I've come to care a lot about over the years. Andy is a quintessential engineer. He plans, obsesses over details, he's a perfectionist, he looks at every angle, And I think this is what makes West such a perfect partner for Andy. They're both really fun, kind, and thoughtful. But West provides that creativity, that spontaneity, and honestly, West is his equal in every other way. When I first met West, I was immediately struck by the way that she asks deep questions when you talk with her. West doesn't make small talk, she makes big talk. And on my visits to hang out with them, I love the way that she mellows him out. And that's something I think Wes and I certainly bonded over the last trip out to LA. I will say I also love the way that Wes made me breakfast and with fresh squeezed orange juice, like by hand when I came to visit them. That was unbelievable, and I will never forget that. I will say, that was special. I know, you were all about it. It's way above and beyond. I don't know if Andy and I ever had that conversation, like, she's the one, because I don't think we ever had to. Like, I think it was pretty obvious from the get-go, the way that you talked about her, and it was just immediately obvious to me how important West was to Andy. I want to finish by saying, I know that this pandemic and this situation has been difficult for so many, and it obviously has had an impact on this wedding, but it's really a special experience for all of us who are able to be here, surrounded by the people who truly love and care for Andy and West. I'm so thankful that we can be together to celebrate and send them off as they start their lives together. So if you will join me to Andy and West. Cheers. Cheers.
All right, that was so great. One more time.